Hello, my lovely learners, and welcome to Easy Stories in English, the podcast that will take your English from okay to good and from good to great. I am Ariel Goodbody, your host for this show. Today's beginner level story is called The Shape of Art. Okay, I'll just explain some words that are in today's story. Squares, triangles and circles are all shapes. S-H-A-P-E-S. Shapes are very important in mathematics. Geometry is the study of shapes. If someone is in shape, then they are fit and they have a nice body. A sculpture, S-C-U-L-P-T-U-R-E, is when someone uses wood, metal or clay to make the shape of something. For example, the ancient Romans and ancient Greeks made marble sculptures of people. They took pieces of marble and cut them until they were in the shape of someone. The most famous sculpture in the world is Michelangelo's David. Sculptures often appear in gardens and parks. People who make sculptures are called sculptors. I know, very confusing. The law, L-A-W, is the system of rules that governments use to keep people safe. For example, there is a law that says you cannot kill people or you cannot steal things. People who study law often become lawyers. L-A-W-Y-E-R-S. Lawyers argue that someone has broken the law or that they didn't break the law, and then a judge decides if the person should go to prison or go free. Wrong, W-R-O-N-G, can mean not correct, but it can also mean when you feel bad but don't know why. For example, maybe you have very complicated feelings about a friend or family member, but you don't understand your feelings, so you just feel wrong. Or maybe you go to work and someone isn't there, but you don't know who it is, so something just feels wrong. Art supplies are things that you use to make art. For example, art supplies might be paper, pens, paints, wood, scissors, glue. The type of art supplies depends on the art being made. Painters buy paints for their supplies, and sculptors buy marble or wood or clay for their supplies. Being a writer is easy and cheap because you don't need a lot of supplies. A landscape painting is a painting of the countryside or nature. Landscape paintings are usually of mountains, forests or fields. Landscape paintings usually have no people in them or very few people. The focus of the painting is on nature. A portrait, P-O-R-T-R-A-I-T, is a painting or a picture of a person. In the past, before there was photography, portraits were the main way of making a picture of someone. Rich and important people paid to have portraits made of them. Mona Lisa, one of the most famous paintings in the world, is a portrait. Abstract, A-B-S-T-R-A-C-T, means unclear, not real, fantastic. Normally, painters paint real things, landscapes, dogs, people, but sometimes painters make abstract paintings. There are lots of shapes and colours, but you don't really know what it is. Pierre Mondrian, Jackson Pollock and Mark Rothko are all famous abstract artists. When you throw something away, you usually throw it in a bin, B-I-N. For example, when you eat a banana, you throw the banana peel, the yellow bit, in the bin. Once a week, you need to take your bins outside so that they can be collected. In many countries, there are different bins for rubbish and recycling. Okay, so listen and enjoy. The shape of art. Once there was a woman called Felicity. Felicity always wanted to be an artist, but she never knew it. Felicity's parents were artists, and when she was growing up, her parents never had any money. Felicity's mother made sculptures of dogs, and her father made sculptures of cats, and generally they made very little money. One summer, Felicity said, "Mum, Dad, I want a brother. I'm so bored. You're always making your sculptures. I've read all the books in the house. I'm bored. Please give me a brother." Felicity's parents looked at her. "Darling," said her mother, "we don't have enough money. I'm sorry. But look, I'm making these new Pekingese sculptures. I think they'll sell really well. Maybe next year we'll have the money." When Felicity went to university, she studied law, and she worked hard to become a lawyer. Felicity's parents were happy for her, but they didn't know anything about law. They never knew how to talk to her about work. When they asked questions about her job, Felicity told them about it, and then they said, "Oh, we don't understand what you're talking about. We're artists, remember?" Felicity was good at her job, and she made a lot of money. By the age of 25, she had bought a house. Still, something felt wrong. She thought maybe she needed to fall in love. So she got a boyfriend. But that still felt wrong. She got a girlfriend. But that also felt wrong. Something was wrong in her life. But what was it? One day, Felicity walked past an art supplies shop. Suddenly, it was like someone else was moving her body. She went inside, bought painting supplies, went home, and started painting. "Why am I painting?" thought Felicity, but she didn't stop. The more she painted, the better she felt. All this time, Felicity had needed art. The wrongness she felt, it was because she needed to make art. She took a few months off work and told her boss that she needed a break, and she spent all her time painting. A few months later, Felicity looked at what she had made. She had painted landscapes, the mountains, the sea, all kinds of places. She could see where she had started, how bad her work had been, but she knew from her parents how difficult art was. She knew what hard work was. And her last landscapes were good. But when Felicity got back to work and showed her landscape paintings to her friends, they weren't interested. "Oh, that's nice," said Annabelle. "I sometimes paint mugs. It's really relaxing." "Do you think you'll sell it?" said her boss. He could only think of money. Felicity felt awful. Couldn't they see how important this was? She went home and almost threw away her art supplies, but first she decided to try something else. Felicity started painting portraits. At first, she asked people off the street if she could paint them. She didn't trust her friends. But as she got better, she asked her friends if she could paint them. Slowly, she painted portraits of everyone she knew, including her parents. Again, several months passed, and again, Felicity looked back at her work and knew her portraits were good. But the only people who said nice things about them were Felicity's parents. Everyone else said things like, "That's not how my nose looks," or "You've used the wrong colour there." Felicity wanted to scream. Couldn't they understand? This was art! She wasn't trying to paint perfect portraits. She was trying to make the wrongness inside her go away. So, Felicity decided to go abstract. Instead of landscapes and portraits, she painted strange shapes. She painted angry shapes. She used colours together that shouldn't go together.